Before becoming a black belt, there are 5 key colored belts that students of Taekwondo can obtain to show growth as a disciple of their master. And in our time together this week, I'll be sharing their meaning with you and revealing how they've helped me to reflect on key elements of the Christian faith that mark us out as maturing disciples of Jesus. The green belt is the 3rd color belt that Taekwondo students receive if they pass the green belt exam. Its color represents growth, like a green plant rooted in the soil and it's beginning to emerge now above ground. The martial arts student is growing in their ability to apply the formal teaching that they are receiving and the foundational techniques that they've learned in new ways and with greater accuracy and form. Earning my green belt was really exciting. It was a great moment in my martial arts journey because I began to realize how far I'd actually come since I'd started. Although I knew I still had a long way to go before I could call myself proficient, I was growing in knowledge and skill. That reminds me of one little snippet of information that we have about the childhood of Jesus. We aren't told a huge amount about Jesus' early years in the Bible, but one of his early disciples by the name of Luke does mention the following in the 2nd chapter of his account of Jesus' life. He says, "And Jesus grew in wisdom and stature and in favor with God and man." Think about that for just a second. Jesus, like every human child, learned to obey his parents and grew mentally, spiritually, and physically as time went on. This might seem obvious, as growth is a universal law of being human, but there are some people who seem to think that Jesus arrived on earth as the finished product. There are probably a number of problems with that idea, but the one that really stands out to me is that it makes it really difficult for us to relate to him. It suggests he never had any lessons that he had to learn or skills that he needed to develop like we do. And that's nothing like the human experience. Therefore, it leads us to the idea that Jesus looked like us but wasn't really like us at all. It can lead to discouragement when we are new to the Christian faith and we don't know as much about God yet as other people, because we wrongly assume that we're expected to get everything right straight away. It can also lead to some people thinking that since they've become Christians and the Holy Spirit lives within them, they are more qualified to speak about matters of faith than they actually are. I think we could all do with a dose of humility, because we're all on a journey of faith, but none of us has arrived yet. We all have a lot of lessons still to learn along the way. I believe Jesus was the perfect example of what humanity was always meant to look like, but that includes the fact that he intentionally invested in growth, in knowledge, in skill, all of the days of his life. I believe he was God in human flesh, both fully divine and fully human in every way, just like we are, including the need to learn and practice things to become better equipped for the life of faith. I think mature Christians are followers of Jesus who truly understand how little they really know, and who are committed to keep learning rather than content to settle with the knowledge or the skills they already have. Maybe you've been feeling inadequate lately because you don't know very much about something that many other Christians do know about. Or maybe you're discouraged because you aren't that skilled as a public speaker like somebody that you look up to. Or maybe you wish you could play guitar well enough to join the worship team, but your fingers just don't seem to obey your commands yet. Whatever it is that you're not good at, I just want to remind you that even Jesus had to practice to learn new skills and had to study to grow in knowledge and wisdom. There was a time in his life on earth where his mother or his father or a teacher or a church leader would have had to teach him to do something. So don't beat yourself up. Don't be discouraged about needing to grow, because that just makes you human. Equally, don't give up, as if it was impossible for you to grow any wiser or more proficient in a particular skill. You are perfectly designed to grow, and Jesus is the perfect example of how. With the right attitude and the right humility and with perseverance, you can become somebody far more capable than you are today. With God's help, anything is possible. So take some time today to humbly ask God to point out an opportunity for you to develop a new skill to serve him with, or to teach you a new lesson that he wants you to learn. And may God give you a heart that embraces every opportunity to grow and to develop, because by so doing, you will not only grow in skill and wisdom, but you will also grow to become more like Jesus.